First, welcome to all the participants on today's session. The business environment is changing, and it's changing rapidly. And what's the fact that we have to accept is that change is here to stay. And with the change in the business, also the perception of the buildings and how we use them is changing. So that means that all of us stakeholders, so the landlords, facility managers, tenants, end users, and of course PropTech providers, we need to adapt, and we need to find solutions how to satisfy the users, the end users of the building. So we need to focus on the better end user experience. What is important to say is that we need to start, even if we start gradually, but we need to start now. There's no time anymore for waiting if we want to stay competitive on the market. So landlords and facility managers, to focus more, are also more and more aware that facility management services are ever more important factor with achieving the quality, the performance, as well as end user satisfaction in the buildings. So if you want to keep the users, the end users in the buildings, in the office buildings, if you want to attract buyers in retail shopping centers, we need to move forward, we need to be more flexible, accessible, and we need to provide for their security, health, and entertainment as much as possible. So we want to talk today with our partners from ASURA Group, who are using the Imagine facility management solutions to improve and enhance their facility management services and to better react and serve the landlords, as well as we said, the most important stakeholders, the end users. We will firstly talk about shortly who is ASURA Group, what are their challenges, and what are the main pain points in facility management today. Then we'll touch a little bit how PropTech facility management solutions can help enhancing these processes, and ultimately we want to touch base shortly with a specific project. The ASURA Group is onboarding just right now the largest shopping center in the Southeast Europe region, which is just to be opened in 1 month's time in Skopje, the East Gate of Skopje. So joining me today are my two colleagues from ASURA Group, Mr. Ašo Zupancic, who is country manager, and Mr. Siniša Žugić, who is marketing manager in the company. And I believe we will exchange some interesting debates, some interesting words for you today. So let me just, for the beginning, Ašo, ask you if you can shortly just present yourself, your company, what's your mission, what you do.
Yes, Clement, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity that we will somehow shed some light how PropTech in everyday life of a facility manager is used. First, let me introduce ASURA. ASURA is a privately owned facility management company. We are covering region of Southeast Europe, spanning all the way from Slovenia, Croatia, all the way to Northern Macedonia and Montenegro. We are focusing on delivering superb FM services to our customers that span in the variety of different fields, being manufacturing, retail, office buildings, landlords, and so on. So this is our core business, I would say.
Great. And by doing this business, what would you say would be your differentiation to other providers? So where do you see your competitive advantages on the market?
First of all, we strive for technical proficiency, and this is our main goal in whatever we do. We want to be the best, and we want to have a superb service level for our customers. This means that we employ only the best workforce available on the market, And unfortunately, or luckily, however you want to say it, this also reflects in our price strategy, which is not the lowest on the market, but I would say that we are on the high end of the market. But I must say that our customers are giving us a green light on this, because maybe a bit higher price on one hand with a superb facility management service on the other is what is acceptable by the market right now.
The facility management itself can be very fragmented and a complex process, of course, depending on the type of service agreement you have, the type of resources you use, and the type of services that you offer. So in this respect of complexity, what are the key challenges for you on the market?
As I've already mentioned, we strive for perfection, and this perfection is reflected in our day-to-day operations, meaning that facility management as such is a very complex operations, spanning all the way from, let's say, office cleaning, event management, all the way to preventive, reactive maintenance of complex machines and systems. And management of such a different processes and people associated with them is a very challenging one. Unfortunately, it's not enough just to have everything in your head. We need to have some sort of proper IT support in these processes, in this management, because otherwise we get lost.
Exactly. That's the thing that I've been trying to focus on at the beginning. It's becoming more and more complex and more difficult to satisfy all the stakeholders. And of course, the whole society is going in the direction of digitization, as well as real estate industry. So how is your company working on that? What are the main focuses, and how are you tackling this challenge?
From the beginning of our company, we already started to digitalize our processes, to use PropTech in every way that it was possible. But unfortunately, looking back roughly 10 years ago, the FM solutions were designed within specific ERP environments. Such an approach was acceptable when the FM was part of the company, of the internal function of the company, I will say. But with emergence of specialized FM companies, this was not enough. Because as I already said, we have different processes, we have different customers, and this calls for different channels of communication. In the last years, what we have seen and what we also see as a way forward is software as a service concept that is being developed in the FM field. And this is also why we decided to use iFacility from Imagine Group to be our main facility management software in everyday operations. We are covering all our processes in different real estates, being production facilities, office buildings, all the way to large shopping centers. This brings us flexibility, agility, responsiveness, which is necessary to be able to manage and comply with ever-changing demands of landlords and end users. You can imagine how many wishes we get per day.
Sure. Everybody's becoming more and more demanding. So you mentioned everyday work. How would you describe or what are the daily key tasks that you are doing as a facility manager? What are the main issues you tackle, and how do you tackle them using PropTech or iFacility in this case?
First of all, we use it to organize our preventive maintenance tasks. These tasks are, with the use of iFacility, well documented, tracked, easily presented. There is a wide variety of KPIs that we can use, also dashboards to help us with our daily work. And you can imagine that without a help desk tool, which is also a very important part of this, it is almost impossible to manage all this. Maybe just to put into perspective, Imagine a 20,000 square meter shopping center that has, I would say, 100 stores or users or tenants, however you want to call them, and we need to take care of them. At least half of this, I call them our customers, gives us a call. And this gives you 50 calls per day, and at least some action needs to be taken on this each single call. You need to distribute the tasks among your staff. You need to give tracking to your customer. With the use of iFacility Help Desk, we are able to track this and to eliminate a lot of coordination between the workforce, because orders are automatically distributed to the right groups of employees, being janitors, cleaners, technicians, and whoever. So it's much easier to manage our day-to-day tasks.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure that in this respect, your new project, you are just onboarding. So the Eastgate Shopping Center in Skopje will be such a challenge. It's quite a large development. Yeah, I'm sure that with help of the right PropTech solution, you will have much easier task, even though it will be still very challenging and very demanding. Sinisha, you are also actively working on this project with the clients. And could you give us just a short insight what this project is all about and how large it is?
Of course. Eastgate Mall in Skopje is currently one of the largest, if not the largest, mall being built in Southeast Europe. And it will, when it's finished, have 57,000 square meters of shopping space. And it stretches over 5 floors in 3 different wings, and it will attract 200 retailers, like famous retailers, retail chains, and it will just attract a wide variety of visitors from around the region. They're expecting visitors from Greece, from Albania, Kosovo, Serbia, considering it's sort of an intersection of the ways, and everyone who comes to Macedonia is surely going to visit. They're expecting, I think they said 12 million visitors in the first year.
I think that's quite impressive and quite a challenge for you ahead, for sure. Can you, in the sense of today's session, give us also an insight in regards to facility management services you are offering and you are going to execute on this project? What's the strategy, how you are going to tackle this, and how will you engage technology in these processes?
Well, the process itself is very, the whole project is very large. It will employ over 120 people that will be present throughout the month on the site for sure. And our primary goal at the beginning was to focus on recruiting, because we wanted to make sure we want to get the best people to work on each project that we have. So our primary focus at the beginning was the recruiting of the proper people who are going to take care of the object, and then integrating them into our community, like the regional community of experts, and then introducing them to the ways that we do things. And this is, we use advanced techniques, we use advanced tools in facility management, integrated facility management. And one of these things is the software that we use that you wonderfully make. And so this is our biggest challenge is, like I said, onboarding, and then education and teaching people how to use these tools. So yeah, this is where we're at right now.
Yeah, I guess this recruited personnel will have to be somehow digital literate, so to say, to know how to, or at least not to be afraid using such tools and technology.
There are some challenges. Recruiting is at certain junctions, it's fairly hard, but we've managed to overcome any difficulties that we've had, and we are very appreciative of the support you've been giving us sort of since the project started. And I have to say, I'm very, very grateful for your assistance and everything you've done. So with iFacility, I think it's a great tool. I think it's going to help us a lot. It's going to cut a lot of work hours and save us a lot of money. And I think it's very good to have these standardized protocols in response to things, just to one place, one database where everything is sort of structured. You can send commands, you can manage people there, you can manage everything that's necessary for the operations of the mall is in one place. And we're very pleased with it, with your tool.
Could you just give us an idea what's the manpower that you will need to do facility management?
So we have physical security, so that's going to be 40 people, but we have 14 technicians, a facility manager and a facility assistant, and we're going to have around 65 people in cleaning. So infrastructure is a big part of the center, and it's going to be very interesting, perhaps very challenging, especially since the mall is opening this late in the year. We're expecting holidays, so it's going to be nonstop visitors all throughout January, and the operations of the mall are going to be very, very intense within the next 6 months for sure. But we're fine. It's a beautiful new center, new tech, and so that's going to be sort of easier. But there are some things like integrating BMS and everything, which of course your software will help with.
Yeah. So yeah, it sounds interesting, challenging, and I'm sure we will be able to join the forces and do it properly. Maybe just to wrap up, Asho, to get back to you, how do you see the future of your group using property technologies? Where do you see the future will lead you?
As already mentioned by Sinisha, the connections are actually the main thing that we will be focusing. Is actually because we know that we can bring additional added value with connection to the ERP solutions, to the building management software, to IoT of data, and I strongly believe that this will bring additional value to the efficient process management that we are dealing with, and to the end customer satisfaction. And connected to all this actually means that the better profitability for the landlord is one of the major outcomes that will come out of this. As already mentioned on a couple occasions, I strongly believe that we have a capable partner in Imagine and an integrator that will help us with this, because as mentioned a couple of times, we strive for superb technical services and profitability for our customers at the end of the day.
Thank you for that. Thank you guys for this interesting insight into a large project, into a challenging new environment for facility management. And I'm sure, or I at least believe, that we have had an interesting debate or interesting information for our participants on the panel. Of course, we are available for all of you to answer questions in the question section, and our contacts are also there, so you can contact us in case you need some services or help or just a discussion in this respect. We will be very happy to answer you and to discuss it with you. And yes, thank you again, guys. Thank you for today's session.
Thanks so much.
Hope to repeat this in some next occasion.
Thank you.